The Whispering Woods. It was supposed to be an escape. Mark had always loved the solitude of the forest, and after weeks of stress, a solo camping trip seemed like the perfect reset. He arrived just before sunset, pitched his tent in a clearing, and built a small fire. The air was crisp, and the sounds of birds and rustling leaves filled the quiet. As night fell, the forest grew eerily silent. The usual hum of crickets and distant howls of coyotes was absent. Mark poked the fire nervously, trying to shake off the unease. At first it was subtle, a whisper, faint and fleeting, carried on the wind. He froze, straining to listen. It sounded like someone saying his name. "Mark." He laughed nervously. "Just the wind," he muttered, louder than necessary to convince himself. But deep down, he knew better. The whisper came again, this time from a different direction. "Mark, come closer." Gripping his flashlight, he scanned the tree line. The beam of light trembled in his shaking hands. Shadows stretched unnaturally long, twisting into shapes that seemed to move. "Who's there?" he called out. No answer, just the rustle of leaves. Determined to prove it was nothing, he ventured a few steps into the woods. The fire behind him shrank, its warm glow barely reaching him. The whispers grew louder, overlapping, like dozens of voices murmuring at once. "Turn back," one voice said. "Stay with us," said another. Mark's breathing quickened. He swung the flashlight wildly, catching glimpses of movement, shadows darting between trees. His heart pounded as he stumbled back toward the clearing, only to find his campsite gone. Panic set in. He was sure this was where he'd set up camp, but the tent, the fire, everything had vanished. The forest around him felt alive, closing in. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the distance. A woman, pale and dressed in tattered clothes, stood motionless, staring at him. Her eyes were empty, and her lips moved as if whispering, but no sound came out. "Help me," Mark pleaded, but the woman pointed behind him. He turned slowly, his flashlight revealing a crowd of figures emerging from the darkness. They were all pale, with hollow eyes and twisted expressions. Their whispers filled the air, deafening now. Mark dropped the flashlight and ran, his breath ragged, his legs burning. The trees seemed endless, the ground uneven. He tripped, crashing to the forest floor. When he looked up, the figures were surrounding him. The whispers stopped. One leaned down